Alrighty, another day, another Randy Pitchford L. So, if you don't know, I've been covering a little bit of the Borderlands 4 stuff here and there, as I've been an avid Borderlands fan. Will I get the game? Probably, just because I'm an addict, but we'll have to see, man, because it's getting a little dicey for Randy Pitchford's latest Borderlands. Now, on top of a bunch of controversies going on with the characters looking like they're DEI hires, with their backstories being very generic, you have the black lady who's smart and a scientist, and she works with gravity. It's a little like, oh, okay. So we have Ironheart, but in Borderlands 4. Okay, let's go. And then you have a siren who comes from the down city under streets, and she's from the slums, but she finds the good in everybody. And then you have Eamon, the big dude. Can't remember his class name, something like Space Knight, something like that. But you basically have Eamon, and he is trying to avenge his family's death, which is very, like, I've seen this in every single movie about a Viking, about like some sort of dude like that. So it's sick, but it is just also like, can we get something unique with some of these characters? And then you have the paraplegic who literally was given an exosuit by TDR, and now he permanently uses an exosuit because he's paralyzed. So that's a little interesting. Now, of course, their lore is going to be a little bit more in depth than that, but that's a generic overview, and they're pretty generic overall. Now, with that being said, Randy Pitchford himself has dug himself into a deeper hole here. Not only are these price increases that are a little insane, alright, so we take a look here. We have the pre-purchasing of Borderlands 4. I don't mind pre-purchasing games and pre-purchasing bonuses personally, but I know some people get uppity about it. $90 hairs Canadian, as I am from the Great North. It's a little steep, alright, a little steep, but kind of the norm. Jedi Not Fallen Order, the new one, Survivor, I believe that one was $89.99. So, this isn't like out of the realm of possibility. Then we move on to Deluxe Edition. Okay, $30 price increase, a little steep, but I get it. I kind of understand it from a certain place. You have $130 instead of 90. So, $40 increase, actually, if my math is correct there. And then we move on to the Super Deluxe Edition, and it's 180 schmeckles, no tax. So you're looking at almost a $200 game here up in the Great North. That's fucking insane, okay? On any game, any platform, 200 schmeckles is a lot of schmeckles, let me tell you, alright? So I'm a little concerned with how they're gonna do the microtransactions in the game if the Super Deluxe Edition is 180 fucking schmeckles, alright? So, I don't know what the fuck, how many people are gonna go out and get a fucking loan just to play this game and get the content and all the accessories and stuff. And then we have what you actually get, and for 90 schmeckles, you get the base game. Okay, great, and you get it with all the additions here for $200 fucking dollars. I better get the fucking game, alright? We'll get into it, but you have the Gilded Glory Pack, which appears to be a like pre-order bonus for everything. I'm sure it's going to come with skins that nobody gives a fuck about, because they're just going to release better ones throughout the life cycle of the game that are going to be $30 Canadian, of course. Then you have the Bounty Pack bundle, which I don't even think it really says. Oh, here's the Gilded Glory stuff. Okay, so it actually does show full game Borderlands Super Deluxe Edition. Holy shit, god damn. 2 new map regions, 2 new playable vault hunters. Wait a minute, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Full base game, pre-purchase gilded. Okay. Firehawk Fury weapon skin, sure. Bounty pack bundle, 4 unique areas featuring new missions and unique bosses. So is this a DLC on launch, or is this the future DLC that's coming out? Maybe I gotta do a little bit more research here. Also, 2 additional Vault Hunters with post-launch content of Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition. Experience all new stories and side missions, and take on new challenges and Fearsome Foes. Super Deluxe Edition includes all content of Deluxe Edition with tons of more heaped on top. So we're looking at 2 new characters after launch. It's very Borderlands 2-esque, which is kind of a good sign, but a little, you know, Control V type energy. And we're getting maps, 2 new maps. Little odd. Very odd. I actually didn't even know this. I clicked record after I saw these prices and something else I want to talk about, but oh my god, man. 2 map regions, 2 story packs. Are these on launch? I don't think this is on launch. This has to be like featured. No way they're pulling like a Star Wars Outlaws and they're making you charge a DLC day 1 of launch, right? That surely they're not that greedy, right? But yeah, it just looks like a bunch of skins. They're probably gonna get, you know, power crept as time goes on in this game. There's just gonna be better, probably animated skins for like $30 to $50, depending on how they want to market this fucking piece of shit game, by the looks of it. And wow, just I can't get over that price tag. But on top of that, there's something else we got to discuss here, because if you want the full Borderlands experience, okay, you're gonna have to fork over the collector's edition, all right, which it's been memed on Twitter a little bit here. I don't use this website, so I apologize if it looks very cluttered and not very professional. But you can see here a bunch of collector's items. I believe this is marketed at 150 American schmeckles. Don't quote me on that though. Regardless, it's 150 plus in terms of a price for like any currency, aka American or Canadian. So this is looking like another $200. So we're looking at a $400 content included game here. Now, obviously, you don't need to buy this stuff, right? You don't need to buy this stuff, but $400 total. And if you only buy this collector's bundle, you only get the statue, you get these, whatever the fuck they are, posters, side panel, whatever the fuck they are. You get shift codes for the game, you get a necklace, and you get a cloth map of the map. But down here, we have games sold separately for some fucking reason. Why on God's green earth do you not get the game with this edition of the game? If you're paying $200, getting bonus like shift codes and all this other shit physically at the game store, you should be given the game. That's kind of how like a discount works. Like it should be all this plus the game, you know? Even if you increase the price of this, it should be bundled. Like what the fuck are we doing? You know, this is like very weird. Very weird. I can't even think of what this is like, because I can't even think of a company that's done this. I think even with the Assassin's Creed Shadow statue thing that they got completely wrong and were a little racist with, even that edition I think came with the fucking game. But all this shit, you don't get the game for 200 schmeckles. Like, what are we doing, man? 130. Yeah, so according to this guy, Kaida, I don't know anything about this guy. I don't condone anything, but, you know, from his perspective, we've got put down 130 plus tax. I'm assuming this is American. Yeah, the collector's edition. So if you're an ultimate collector, if you're a real fan, you'll spend the $150. But anyone with brain cells, I don't think is going to be buying both editions. And realistically, you're only going to be buying one. And unfortunately, it looks like this collector's edition is probably going to flop, which is unfortunate for the company, but it's also unfortunate for the game, because that means the game's not making as much money. And overall, there's just controversy on controversy with this game, and I can't wait for some of the side quests, some of the main quests to get talked about, because I have a feeling the dialogue is not going to be great, alright? Considering that we've gotten returning characters like Amara, nobody fucking asked for. Zane, he's older, he's probably the oldest character in Borderlands. Nobody fucking asked for these characters to return. I'm a Zane main from Borderlands 3. I didn't ask for him to return, he's too old, and they did nothing with his entire story. Oh, all the previous characters that you played as killed his family? Oh, well, he's just gonna crack some jokes about it and move on. And that's all Borderlands has become. You know, I miss the good old days with Borderlands 2. I'll still write it's my favorite one. Now, you can like Borderlands 3. I'm not saying Borderlands 3 is necessarily a bad game. I just don't think it's better than 2. And I will always consider 2 to be the GOAT. And I do think Borderlands 4, with the trajectory we're going here, I get tariffs and all this other shit, but I don't get what the thought process is behind a $400 if you want to get the complete edition for the game, you know? I think this is a little bullshit. I think it's kind of scummy, number one, for the price to be so high on promised content, and I just really wonder what the fuck they're doing. Now, will I be purchasing this game? I'll be honest, I probably will. Still, I'll probably get the base edition, because I haven't been a fan of Borderlands DLC for a while. I think the last one I truly enjoyed was Badass Creator of Badassitude. I didn't really enjoy the pre-sequel DLC. I didn't really enjoy the DLC of Borderlands 3. None of it really spoke to me. Jackpot was cool, but even then, it's not worth 20 bucks. In my personal opinion, a lot of this, like, this is rough, man. Aside, I get that, like, if you just want to play the game, you don't have to spend the 400 schmeckles Canadian, right? I get that, right? And you can only, you only have to spend 100 bucks, guys, all right? It's not that bad. Come on now, you know? But the problem is that this year is stacked with games, all right? You have Dune Awakening. That game's like 50 bucks right now, Canadian. I think it's actually 52, 53, something like that. Maybe 50, it's $64. I was incorrect, but I'm glad I fact-checked it. $64. You know, that's less than half the price of the Super Deluxe Enhanced Edition. You know, you could get 3 Dune Awakenings, or you could get 1 fucking Borderlands 4, I guess, you know? Then you have bangers like Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it. Currently, it's sitting at an 87% positive on Steam. And it's just an RPG similar to Skyrim. You also have Oblivion 4 Remastered. You also have, you know, Deltarune's getting updates if you're interested in, like, RPGs like that style. You know, we're getting Grounded 2, which is a fantastic survival game. Going through Grounded 1, trying to 100% it, as I have 500, actually technically over 500 hours in the first, but I've never finished it. So I'm going back and doing all that stuff. You have Grounded 2, great survival game coming out next month. You have Killing Floor 2, another great, or Killing Floor 3, sorry, coming out. Another great game that's a horde shooter that, you know, you could have some looter shooter elements in it, so you could classify it under the competition of Borderlands 4. And Killing Floor 3 right now is set at $51, and the highest edition is set at $103. Yes, it's double the price of the base edition, I guess, but you also get, I think it's 4 season passes, something like that. You know, and it's kind of hard to compare, like, content for content, and I'm not trying to say the value in Killing Floor 3's is better, than, you know, Borderlands 4. We barely fucking seen anything of, the content so far. However, I am just stating, the highest edition for Killing Floor 3 is, like, $10 more than the base edition. The base edition for Borderlands 4. Okay, and that's not including getting all that extra shit. So it's just, it's a steep year for games. If you're trying to make your own identity, get some new flavor to the franchise or whatever it is you're looking for any developer. This goes for AAA, like the Assassin's Creed. This goes for, you know, the Elden Ring game that just came out. It didn't really break the mold, you know. It was good. From the looks of it, 80%, 75,000 user reviews on Elden Ring. To be fair, that game does get glazed a lot more, but, you know, there's Lies of P DLC, also Lies of P. I know it didn't come out this year, but it's still a good game. You know, you have story-driven games like Atomfall. Now, to be fair, there isn't a lot of looter shooters out, but looter shooters, we already have a bunch that have been around forever that have way more content to play and that are literally free. You can go to Steam right now and download a game called Warframe, which I highly recommend if you're craving some sort of sci-fi / space shooter. Warframe, great game. I have many hours in it. I don't currently play it, but I guarantee you it's got more content than what Borderlands 4 is going to have on launch. It's free, you know? And you can say it's got bad microtransactions. Borderlands 4, I don't think is going to have safe microtransactions. I think everything is trending towards some sort of scummy microtransactions. Of course, it's just a theory, but, you know, when there's 2 points on a line, or 2 points they make a line, and when they're on the graph, you know, you can kind of tend to find out what the trend's going to be, you know? And there's also a game called Destiny 2. I know that game is on and off with a lot of people, me included into that. I have easily over 4,000 hours total in Destiny 2. I could recommend the game over a game like Borderlands 4, depending how Borderlands 4 goes. If you're looking just for content, like Destiny 2's there, you know what I mean? And those are the real contenders, I'd say, Warframe, Destiny 2, along with Borderlands. But Borderlands hasn't done anything to break the mold and add some flavor to their games in a very, very long time. And I just don't see Borderlands 4 really doing it. I get it, it's open world. Welcome to the club. I get it. There's more stuff to do. There's swimming, there's jetpacks, there's wall riding, you know. Welcome to the club. Warframe has wall riding. Destiny has the jetpacks. Like, it's just... I like the quality of life they're adding. I'm just not a fan of the heavy price tag, the no doubt microtransactions that are going to be in the game, and the steep, scummy, outside of the base game stuff they're doing, you know? So, it's just... I'm not a fan of what's going on around with Borderlands 4. On top of that, Randy's not doing a great job schizoing on Twitter every once in a while. But, you know, definitely check out those schizo rants from other YouTubers. They do way better breakdowns than me, so check them out. Maybe I'll leave, like, a link to it or, like, their image or something on the screen. But, yeah, if you made it, I just wanted to talk about that. I'm passionate about video games. I like Borderlands. I want Borderlands 4 to succeed, but... you know, I'm going to call a game out when it's doing shit. I'm going to call a game out when it's doing good stuff. You know, I've done it for Borderlands 4. I've done it for Killing Floor 3. And I'll continue doing it for both games because I'm probably going to play both. And maybe I'll add some Grounded into that. But yeah, I do have a variety of content. If you feel like sticking around, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.